This is the 8th Environmental Forum on Conservation Issues in Lafayette that the League has hosted or co-hosted. We'd like to acknowledge and thank this year's co-host, Lafayette Utilities System, for its technical support. We also thank Lafayette Consolidated Government's Plan Lafayette for promoting the importance of energy savings. As you can see, smart savings. Okay. Smart savings for businesses and homes. The Lafayette Public Library for its hospitality, and the AOC Community Media for taping the program for replay. I have a question for you. How do you think your state, Louisiana, ranks in home energy conservation? Any guesses?
Pretty low.
Okay. The answer would be last. In the 48 touching states, according to the Wallet Hub, which is a research group which promotes smart finances. But now, Lafayette's new comprehensive plan includes an action step. And this is our action step. To increase the use of LUS free or low-cost services that encourages energy efficiency to reduce operating costs and create healthy home environments. We're proud to announce that Lafayette City Parish President, Mr. Joey Durrell, has designated this month as Conservation Month in recognition of the rain barrel distribution program of LUS and the Environmental Quality Division of Public Works. And today's energy efficient workshop, as of last Saturday, 330 rain barrels were purchased in our area. Today, we're working with 3 main themes in this workshop. The first one is saving money while staying comfortable and cost-effective at the same time. Sounds like a good one to me, I'm not sure. Reducing carbon in our community for clean and a healthy air and environment. Asking for and expecting greater energy efficiencies in our community. You'll find a short bio in your program for each one of our distinguished speakers and moderators that will be with us today. We appreciate you all taking your time out to inform us and answer our questions today. Let's challenge ourselves to set our own energy policy for our home or small business. So let's start our first panel, the ABCs of Energy and Savings Conference.
Well, our first speaker is going to be Simon Mahan, and you can read his bio. He has been a long-time advocate for energy. And Simon?
Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a robust crowd. I gave a speech about a month ago to a bunch of college students. At this time, just completely dead. So I really appreciate the fervor this morning. I do have to apologize. I'm either coming down with or getting over a cold, so I'm operating at about 80%. As Mike said, my name is Simon Mahan. I'm a renewable energy manager for the Southern Alliance for Clean Energy. It's a nonprofit organization throughout the South. My specialty is actually wind power, not energy efficiency. And so when I was asked to present on this panel, I said yes, and recognizing that's not necessarily my expertise, I want to speak to you as a homeowner. How do you, as a homeowner, take control of your energy bill? As you all know, you pay an electric bill every month, or at least I hope you know that is what happens, or should be happening. But if you had to take a guess over the course of the year, what is the most energy-intensive thing that you do at your home? Any guesses? What uses the most energy at your home, or the most electricity at your home?
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning and heating. That's right. So here in Louisiana in particular, HVAC systems, or heating, ventilation, air conditioning units, are some of the biggest consumers of our energy. And so it's important that we have energy efficient air conditioners, but more importantly perhaps is having good insulation around your home so that you're not cooling the outside or heating the outside. We have electric heat at my home too, so our utility bills during the wintertime can be quite high. I do have a nuance to that. We have solar panels, so my experience is a little bit different, is going to be a little different than yours. But I did want to start off with this. This is a graph from the US EPA, from the Environmental Protection Agency, of other appliances that consume a lot of energy within the home. This pie chart's a little deceiving because it doesn't include all the appliances, it doesn't include the HVAC system, but as you can see, some pretty big users of energy. I will note the acronym KWH is meant for kilowatt hours. That's how the utility tells how much power you use every month. And then they multiply it times a factor, usually about 8 cents or 9 cents per kilowatt hour. And that's how you get your monthly bill. So this is kind of just a good general graphic to show where your energy can be going for some of these appliances. And I do want to note something real quick on a dishwasher. I've had a lot of folks ask, I wash my dishes in the sink. That's actually bad when it comes to energy efficiency. And the reason why is because dishwashers are extremely energy efficient now, and they are better at heating the water than what you are even capable of doing at your kitchen sink. And so use your dishwasher. It's a good thing to use. Not only does it save you on energy, but it also reduces the amount of water that you end up using as well. So dishwashers are not the devil. I do love my Energy Star dishwasher. So as a consumer, what can you do and how can you figure out how to be more energy efficient? And before I go on, Edith, do I have a timer somewhere so I don't gabber on? Okay, you got me, Mike?
I got you.
Okay, good. So when you go to Lowe's or when you go to Home Depot or Collins or wherever you go to purchase your appliances, you're going to be seeing a bunch of yellow tags all over your appliances. And you're going to say, well, what in the world does this yellow tag mean to me? So this yellow tag is really hard to see, but in the upper left-hand corner of it, I don't have a mouse on this, but if you look in the upper left-hand corner of it, I promise it says water heater electric. So this is your water heater if you have an electric water heater. And this is meant to be a tag on an electric water heater. And the bar, right under the $201, the bar indicates how energy efficient this water heater is compared to the rest of the water heaters. Okay? So at the lower left-hand corner here, we've got $492, and then we have $544 at the other end. So at the left hand, we've got $400, right hand, $544. This model operates at $201. And so this is one of the lowest costs to operate water heaters that you can possibly get. And if I recall, this might actually be a General Electric water heater that is a hybrid water heater. So it's extremely energy efficient, especially compared to the other models that you have. So I'm just trying to get you acquainted with this tag. So when you see it, you can better read it. And then for the wonky people like me, you've got 1,884 kilowatt hours, and that's over the course of a year. So that's how much power this individual water heater should be consuming over the course of the year. There's some more nuances to this. There's the assumption is that the price is a bit higher than what we have here in Louisiana. So it's not a true, this is actually what it's going to cost, and it will also depend on your usage of hot water. But this is a really good way for consumers to try and take control over the appliances that you end up purchasing. Here's another example of an energy guide, and the difference in this energy guide, this is a dishwasher. Both of them look very much the same, $24 annual operation per year, 220 kilowatt hours per year for each. But the estimated yearly operating cost, that $16 that you see down there in the lower left or right-hand corner, it's a little different. $16 versus $17. Now you might think, well, that's not that big of a deal. And to most folks, it's not. But the biggest difference here is one is an Energy Star rated dishwasher and the other is not. And that's what you see in the lower right-hand corner of these tags. Energy Star is a program put on by the US EPA to highlight energy efficient and water conserving appliances. And so in this case, the savings is actually coming from water savings. So this dishwasher is, on the left-hand side is better at conserving water than the one on the right-hand side. So anytime you look for an appliance, look for the yellow tag, but also try to make sure that they are an Energy Star rated appliance. This is another example, just to show you that it's not all at the lower left end. This is a refrigerator freezer. Your annual operating cost is estimated around $67. So keep in mind the cheapest thing for you to buy frequently will end up becoming the most expensive thing that you buy because you are paying more in electricity every single year. So cheaper now, more expensive later. Just try to keep that in mind. This is a funny looking one because it is a television. So you have a nice thin strip on a television. And televisions actually are extremely energy efficient now. If you have an old tube television, one of those big boxy ones, you really need to get rid of it. My parents had one for the longest time, and it was hot, which made their air conditioner work harder, and it used an awful lot of energy. So this is a state-of-the-art, it's a Vizio 39-inch television, so it's not a small one, but it operates at about $7 a year. I mean, that's a good, cheap entertainment. You can't pay that to go see a movie for a year. So I mean, that's a good thing. This is just another example of another refrigerator freezer. It's going to cost you about $60 per year. Here's another dishwasher showing that there's definitely a range. And then let's see here. This is a chart from a company called Toronto Hydro. It's up in Canada, and it shows you the difference between an Energy Star dryer on the left-hand side versus one that a typical household may end up buying on the right-hand side. So you can see the big numbers are in kilowatt hours. The Energy Star dishwasher, or the Energy Star dryer is a lot more energy efficient, but it does cost a bit more. You end up making that money back, or potentially could make some of that money back just based on the operating cost alone. Yeah, question?
We replaced our washer dryer a few years ago and we got Energy Star washer. But we were told there was no such thing as an Energy Star dryer.
That was true. That was true at the time. In fact,
solar dryer.
Yeah, and in fact that was true at the time. And I had to correct myself here about a month ago when I told my parents the same thing. I said, there's no such thing as an Energy Star dryer, but now there are Energy Star dryers that can sense the amount of moisture in your clothes, and with that they change the temperature and they spin less. So it's really quite incredible. But I was swearing up and down to my parents just a few weeks ago. There's no such thing as an Energy Star.
Mine does that, but it didn't have an Energy Star.
Well, and the Energy Star program is a third-party certification program.
But
and
the washer of the same set had it.
Right. Well, and it takes some time for the Energy Star certification to actually be given from the EPA. So EPA is certifying that these products use less energy. And it takes time for them to test them and for them to come out to market and this, that, and the other. But
The dryers are electric, or is there natural gas?
there are natural gas dryers, but you have to have natural gas service at your home.
Right, but these don't consider natural gas.
They will. They will. So I'm only showing you the electric side of things just
Okay,
because that makes things a lot easier.
Okay.
But they do have Energy Star natural gas dryers, Energy Star natural gas hot water heaters, and those tend to be even more efficient than the electric ones because you're transferring heat directly from burning the natural gas into heat for your hot water system.
And when you say hybrid, are you talking about a combination of electric and gas, or are you talking about something else?
No, it's really convoluted, and I'm not an engineer.
Okay.
So it's not like a hybrid car. It's a hybrid heat pump system that they use.
Simon, you got 5 minutes.
Okay, that's great.
We might want to hold the questions till the end.
We can do that. We can do that. So this is just another image of when you go to Lowe's. This is what the tag's going to look like. It's just going to be dangling off of the side of the appliance. Sometimes you actually have to open the appliance to find the tag. They like to hide them for some reason. They think they're ugly, but I think they're useful. So feel free, throw those appliances open, because if you're going to spend $1,000 on something, you better open it up at the store, right? Here's another one. This one was hiding inside of the dishwasher. And this is typical hot water usage. And hot water is something that you don't tend to think about an awful lot because your hot water heater is hidden away. But when you use your hot water heater, especially if it's an electric hot water heater, you're using an awful lot of energy in doing so. So taking shorter showers, running the dishwasher only whenever it's full, these are good ways to conserve hot water in and of itself and thus reduce your utility bills. This is kind of the array of these different hot water heaters that I've been talking about. The one on the left is kind of the typical one that you'll see. The one next to it is a tankless hot water heater. These are super cool. They don't keep hot water on all day long. And instead, when you turn on the tap, they instantaneously start heating up the water. And it's effectively, if you plan them right, you never run out of hot water. So you don't have to have a cold shower after your kids have had a bunch of water. The next one is that hybrid water heater that I was talking about. It's a little funny looking with a heat pump. That's a GE product. And then there's also an Energy Star water heater. You can't really tell the difference between an Energy Star one and a non-Energy Star one sometimes. In fact, the one on the left could be an Energy Star one, but you just wouldn't know unless it told you so. This is a hot water heater that's been bundled up with a blanket. It sounds a little silly, but it's good to wrap your hot water heater in insulation to make sure that it doesn't dissipate heat out into the environment. That also means that it's not trying to continuously heat more frequently. So this is a quick, cheap, and easy way to try and keep your utility bills low. This is just an example of someone putting in some spray foam insulation in a brand new build. The spray foam stuff, if you've ever seen it, it's really incredible. They spray it on as a liquid, and then it expands and forms into a solid. Insulation helps keeps your HVAC system running less. Here's kind of the regular insulation that most folks are probably familiar with, the pink fiberglass insulation. Here's some insulation around the duct. I'm not going to talk too much about this because Robert's going to talk about this here. Window glazing, it's important that we've kind of got three different types of windows here. We've got a single pane on the left-hand side, a double pane, and then a triple pane on the right-hand side. Of course, the cost does go up, but also so does your comfort. So if you have a single pane window, you can feel the heat transfer through that pretty easily. So hot summertime days, you touch that window and you're going to feel some heat. A double pane window, not so much, and a triple pane window, you're probably not going to feel anything at all. There are a brand new bevy of what they call LED lights, and they haven't figured out a best way to create these LED lights. So we've got all these different funny styles and versions of them. They tend to be more expensive than compact fluorescent light bulbs, which are those little squirrely looking ones, but they operate at a lot cooler temperature, actual heat temperature. Many of them are dimmable, and they also use something like 80 to 90% less electricity than your standard incandescent light bulb. So a very energy efficient light bulb. And they're also meant to last about 20 years. I just bought some of my first LED bulbs whenever my son was two years old, just a couple years ago, and he's going to graduate college by the time those bulbs are meant to wear down. Here's just another example. These are all LED bulbs, but again, these are different companies that are developing them, so they haven't found a standard model of them yet. They are getting to be more like the incandescent bulbs that everybody's used to. Here's just different styles, again, of spotlights for these LEDs. I actually have some of the ones in the upper left-hand corner in my kitchen, and they're super awesome. I won't go too much into this, but I do want to highlight that one of the biggest complaints about LED bulbs and compact fluorescents is they don't look right. And the reason why they don't look right is because they come in many different color styles. And so you as a consumer, this is one thing that we need to try to convey and learn about. But you can get a warm bulb that's a bit redder, that looks more like an incandescent bulb. Or if you get a bluer bulb, it's going to mimic daylight a bit more. So that's where you're getting some difference between these lights. 2 minutes. And I do want to note that this is not mine. I do not want to claim credit for this, but it is a really great tool for you to pick up just right outside here, showing the different color styles for the different light bulbs. When you go again to Lowe's or to Home Depot, you may see a compact fluorescent light bulb. This is the package that it's going to be in, and as I was mentioning, you can get a warmer bulb. You can see that kind of spectrum chart up in the upper left-hand corner, and this shows you what color of light that bulb's going to be putting out. So it's important to notice what color of light that's going to be putting out in order for you to be happy. I had some friends that bought some cool lights recently, and they were very displeased, and they blamed me for all their problems. And then I gave them a proper color bulb, and they said, oh, well, this isn't nearly as bad. And different bulbs have these different spectrum charts all over their boxes, but just try to look out for them. This is something completely different, but make sure that your thermostat is up to date. If you have one of those really old 1970s thermostats, it's probably got some mercury in it, and that's how it's determining whether or not to turn on and off. More modern thermostats are much better at controlling your air conditioner than what the old ones are. And with that, I will finish.
Well, let's hold the questions till the end and move on to our next speaker, who is Bev Chason. She's with the library here. She's going to tell us about things they offer here at the library.
Yes.
Was that Chasson?
It's Chasson, correct.
Come on, Mike. Get with the program.
It's okay, I wasn't gonna correct him. It's my husband's name anyway, so it doesn't count. I am with the library, so really, I guess my part of being here today is to tell you guys how you can find out more information about a lot of what Simon mentioned, and probably just about everything you're gonna hear today. If you felt like that was an interesting thing, but you want to know a little bit more, we can show you how to find that. And obviously, we have books. That's surprising, I'm sure. But these are actually really good books, and they're really easy to understand and easy to follow. This particular one, which you could check out today if you wanted, right now, assuming you have a library card, and if you don't, you can get one right outside the door. It has DIY tips in it, things that you can do at your house to kind of do some of the things that Simon mentioned that will save money. But it also has this thing at the top that I'm very interested to read myself that says instant energy savers that don't cost a dime. So if you are thinking right now, gosh, all of that sounds great, but it all involves me spending money up front so that I can save money later, well, guess what? You can check this book out for free, read it this weekend, and do some things this weekend to start saving money now. So I just want y'all to know it's not overwhelming. It's not something you have to be able, to be in a different financial state to do. You can do this right now. And we have plenty of other books, and some of these may be things that you yourself can do. They might be things that you might have to get a friend to help you do. They might be things you might have to hire somebody to do, but in the end, they're going to help you save money, and it's very worth checking that out. So, literally, checking that out. So, anyway, just want to let you guys know, library joke, that we have plenty of resources that way. And then the number one thing that I think we were asked to be here for is to tell you about these beauties. These actually came from LUS, hence the letters. They provided these to us, and I think it's a fantastic program that they offer through us, where using your library card, you can check out these meters. There's 2 in a box. They're called kilowatt meters. Another library joke, I guess. But they're very simple to use. They just plug into any kind of outlet that you have, and in this part you plug an appliance, generally a smaller appliance. The big appliances that Simon mentioned that take up the most energy, you're not going to want to plug those into here because they're a little bit too, they use too much energy. But your coffee makers, most of your TVs, your alarm clock, your what's another good small device that uses a lot of toaster? Thank you. Any of that. You can plug in here, and it'll show you, and there's easy instructions, so don't feel like it's hard to understand. But it'll show you how much energy, how much kWh, kilowatt hours, is being used by that device. And it'll tell you like a monthly rate, it'll tell you, I think, a yearly rate if you scroll through it. So it'll give you a really good idea, just like those Energy Star labels, a good idea of how much that particular device is using. And then you can use that information to determine whether or not you need to maybe cut your usage of that particular appliance, if you need to replace that appliance, if you maybe really can't stop using the coffee maker but probably should stop using some other device to make amends for that. And these devices are free to check out at our library. They come 2 to a box. You can check them out for 3 weeks, so think of all the things you can plug in that time. And you can really get a lot of great information that's going to help you make some decisions in your home or in your small business where you can cut on your bill and save some money there. And in case you're not familiar with how our library system works, you don't necessarily have to walk into the library and say, I want to check this out. We have, I didn't bring my phone up, but we have an app and we have a website where you can actually search for this device or any of these books in our online catalog. If you want to search for this, you can type in kilowatt, K-I-L-L-A-W-A-T, or the letter EZ meter, either of that, and you'll find everywhere that we have one available, which is at all of our libraries technically, and whether or not they're already checked out, whether or not they're available, and you can request a hold on it. And if you check it out at one of our libraries like this one that has a drive-through, you can just drive through and pick it up. So it's really easy. It's not, we don't want to make it any more difficult for you guys to get these devices, but
Does it have to be a hybrid car, or?
it does not. We don't discriminate, but that might be, I guess, a better way to save money. But yeah, so these are a really fantastic service that's offered to you guys and to anybody who has a library card, and I really, really recommend that you check those out. And that's really everything that I had to say. My presentation was pretty short, but I just wanted you guys to know that anything that you hear about, that you just feel like you need more information and you need to have a better idea of how to really implement these ideas, you can certainly come to any of our libraries. You can ask our librarians, our staff, and they can help you find those materials. And it's all free as long as you have a library card. So that's it. Thank y'all.
Our final morning speaker is Connie Marcantel from the Better Business Bureau.
Good morning. Well, I'm sure most of you or all of you are familiar with the Better Business Bureau. And I do have some tips I'm going to give you today about solar energy, tips to industry in general, and also on hiring contractors. But one thing I wanted to stress mostly is the benefits of the Better Business Bureau. We are a nonprofit organization. We've been around for over 100 years. And people always seem to know how to find us when they have a problem, to file a complaint. But we have a website, and so we always recommend to consumers, before you do business with a company, go to our website and check them out first. That way you may avoid having to file a complaint with the BBB. Our website is bbb.org. We have business reviews, and business reviews contain information about companies, the contact information, how long they've been in business, are they licensed or not, have there been any complaints against the company, if so, how they handle complaints. We have customer reviews available, and we have business reviews on companies and charities throughout all of the U.S. and parts of Canada and soon parts of Mexico. So again, it's the most important thing is before you do business, go to bbb.org and check out the company. You can always file a complaint if you had a marketplace transaction, something went wrong, you can do that at a later time, but check out the business first. So a couple things I want to go over is some BBB solar industry tips and sales tactics. Now, you may have someone that might go door to door and soliciting business, and this can apply to other industries as well. But a well-known or established company does not necessarily cold call because that's typically not how they do business. And so if you're looking into hiring a contractor, maybe doing some solar energy, you would want to go with a company that's been around for a while, and because you'll need to think about it in the future if something goes wrong with the equipment that you purchase, will that company be there in 5 years, and who would pay the repair cost? So again, check out the company and do the math. So, you know, looking at maybe solar panels, solar energy, Beware of claims such as free solar, no out-of-pocket expenses due to rebates, etc. Sometimes some of this equipment you'll either lease or purchase. So you want to do the math and check out the savings in the long run. You know, when you purchase this equipment, you're going to have maintenance, repairs, issues that you'll need to do over the years. And so you'll want to do the math and check out to see when you would actually be saving money. How many years would it take you that it'll benefit you where you can save some money if you should go that route. And also ways to save, as they were talking about earlier, windows, insulation, some of the water heaters, energy saver appliances. You can check on these things and get your energy savings cost. And you can also check with your utility company, and sometimes they'll have rebates, or they may be able to tell you, as they did today, and other ways that you can save energy and save costs. We also have tips on when hiring a home remodeler. Again, this can apply to other industries as well. We do suggest that you solicit 2 or 3 bids whenever you're planning to do work. And don't always assume that the best bid is going to be the best product, because it's not necessarily so. So if you have 2 or 3 different estimates, bids on a job, you want to compare the estimates. What is the work? What is the product being used? What is the labor? What is the time required? And that's how you would want to make your decision. And again, check out the company, check to see how long they've been in business. Are they going to be around if you're going to need them later on down the road? So we do also have the 5 consumer commandments. And again, the BBB suggests before you do business with a company, you always want to get your estimates in writing, and again, get 2 or 3 estimates and compare those. Ask for work references and call the reference. A lot of times they might give you a reference and you say, well, they gave it to me, they must be good, I don't need to do anything. What you would want to do is call the references and then ask the person if you can go by and inspect the work that the company has performed. Read and understand contracts before you sign. And we get this all the time. People have signed contracts, the problem occurs, and then we'll ask them, did you read the contract? Well, no, you know, there's a lot of fine print. I didn't have time to read it all. And then always keep in mind when you sign a contract that you are agreeing to the terms of the contract. So whatever's in there, whether you read it or not, if you signed it, you are agreeing to the terms. A contract is a good thing. A contract protects the consumer and the business. So not only is the consumer obligated to the terms of the contract, the business is obligated to the terms of the contract as well. So again, always make sure, and we see this a lot, you know, this doesn't have to do with energy, but purchasing a vehicle, and people will go and purchase a vehicle to buy a used vehicle, and then the next day or 3 days later, whatever, it breaks down, and they think they're protected by the lemon law. Well, that's not true, because it only applies to new vehicles. And when you sign that contract for the used vehicle, it states as is only. The dealership or whoever you purchase it from has no legal rights that they have to fix it at all. So no matter how much fine print, details are in the contract, always read the contract before you sign. And never sign a contract with blank spaces. And keep a copy of the contract. And you know, I heard a couple giggles, but you would be surprised on how many times a contract may have blank spaces on it and people sign. And if you know, get everything in writing and make sure that all the terms are on the contract. And a lot of times people will be reading it and they're not really understanding it, but they're embarrassed and afraid or whatever the situation might be to ask questions. Always ask questions. If you read it and you're not sure, it's not clear, ask questions before you sign. And again, that goes to read and understand the warranty, the guarantee, what it covers, who's going to be responsible for it in the future. A lot of times you may also get verbal agreements if you're working with someone and they'll tell you something. Unless it's in writing, you cannot go by a verbal agreement. So that's like completely out the door. If they tell you something, it's not on the contract, have them write it on the contract. And again, I can't stress enough the importance of checking out a company before you do business. It can save you a lot of heartache down the road. We do have dispute resolution services, which are also offered at bbb.org. So if you do have a dispute with a company, you can go onto our website and file a complaint. And also on our website, we have an accredited business online directory that I recommend if you're looking for a company in whatever particular industry. You can go to our alphabetical directory, for instance, for solar energy, go to the S's, and then go to solar energy. There will be a list of accredited businesses in that industry in our area. And by the way, the BBB of Acadiana, we serve the 7 parish Acadiana area, but in our website houses the business reviews for companies nationwide. Our accredited businesses meet the standards of the BBB for ethical business practices. And so again, when doing business, we always recommend look for an accredited business first. But if anyone ever gives you an estimate or calls you and comes by, again, go online and check them out before you sign any paperwork and make a decision of whatever company that you actually want to deal with. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe we have a few minutes that we could ask some questions if the audience still has questions. I have one for Simon. Weather stripping, that's a pretty cheap thing that we can do here. And I know when I was in school up north, you really knew you needed the weather stripping because you could feel the cold air blow through your house. But down here, you don't notice so much that you need weather stripping. Could you comment on that?
Weather stripping and caulking, very dirt cheap things that you can do to make sure that your house is better sealed up. Even those teeny tiny cracks that you either see around your window or around your door, you might see a little bit of light underneath your door or on the side of your door. That's a place for your heating and air conditioning to really push through. And that's not what you want. you want these weather strips. You want caulking. You want to seal up your house pretty darn well, and that way you can keep your house more comfortable, but also reduce your energy costs. Other questions?
Yeah, I wonder, are there individuals who will assist you in doing like an energy audit for your home?
Are there? Andrew, would you please answer that?
I'm Andrew. I'm not on the panel, but I'm here. Andrew D. I'm with the LUS. I'm the Customer and Support Services Manager, and we have a utilities conservation specialist. That position is not filled right now because I lost the young lady that used to be in that job to the Public Works Department. And as a matter of fact, she's named Lisa Mahoney, and she's worked with a lot of people here and worked with Beth on the kilowatt meter project, and also was one of the originators of the Rain Barrel program as well. So, but we're about to fill that position, but we do have a utility conservation specialist position, and that person can help. It's primarily with residential energy audits. We try not to get into the commercial very much and businesses because there's a market out there where you get energy professionals, engineering firms, energy management firms that like to deal with the commercials, but the residentials will gladly help a customer with assessing their residential needs. Kayla Miles is our public information specialist. On the next panel, she'll talk a little bit about some of the tools we have on our website that can facilitate examination of your utility usage. So.
Who's your utility provider?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Perfect.
If you look on our website, you can find the information related to energy conservation and probably find the name of that person on there when we fill it. I'm about to fill the position. So. All right.
Yes, I might say when we moved into our new old house, built in 1943, we hired an energy consultant to help us with what we should do, and it cost us $500, which seems like a lot of money. And obviously, she just told us so many things we could do. We've saved a tremendous amount of money because of her suggestions.
So if you were to hire someone, I mean, I'm grateful that there would be this individual available for the, for the utility system, but what is the company, what do they call like when you wanted to look semis?
Energy auditor.
Okay.
That's usually what they're called. They're usually called an energy auditor.
At the time, there was a list from DNR, the State
Okay.
Department of Natural Resources, of energy auditors in the state.
Just check with the BBB and
Yes.
find the list.
Good idea.
And Mr. Mitchell's going to cover that on the next panel.
All right. That's right. Perfect.
I have a question for Simon about those bulbs that you were talking about, the compact fluorescents.
Yes.
What do you do, or has anybody had issues with the claimed life of those? Because I know I've replaced some bulbs that say they have a multi-year lifespan and they haven't lasted that long.
Well, so the compact fluorescent light bulbs, they usually get sold under, they'll say, oh, it will last 5 years, may last 10 years, some say it'll last 3 years. It really depends on how much you use the bulb and the way you use the bulb. The compact fluorescent, those swirly looking ones, they're a fluorescent bulb. And so if you enclose it in perhaps like a dome that you have in your ceiling fan, it's going to run them out a bit quicker because it's hotter in there and it's not the environment that they need to be in. They need to be air cooled a bit better. Additionally, I've seen it where if you have them upside down, that will also impact the life of those bulbs. Those bulbs are really meant best to be used in a lamp, standing straight up without anything around them except for perhaps a lampshade. But really it depends on how much you use it. So the estimates are based off of some small amount of usage per day, maybe 2 or 3 hours per day over the course of a year. Well, if you use that bulb all day long, you're automatically reducing the usefulness of that bulb compared to what it was rated for. But there are junk bulbs. There are some that are built very cheaply and they make audacious claims which are not true. And so again, it's kind of this buyer beware. Buying the cheapest thing is not always the best thing to do, and try to do your research. So there's good CFL bulbs from General Electric and from Philips, and similar kind of process that you want to follow with the LED bulbs too.
Another thing on those is that you're not supposed to get the oil of your hands on the actual glass surface, and that will degrade the life of them. So you got to go and put a sock on your hand or something to put the bulb in. So if you didn't read that, that's a definite factor.
I noticed that the fluorescent lights, the compact fluorescent, have the word mercury on the base. And so what is the proper disposal method?
I think we have don't throw if you have a compact fluorescent light bulb, do not throw it in the trash can. They're like batteries. You're also not supposed to throw batteries in the trash can, so stop doing that if you're doing them. But Lafayette actually has a hazardous waste disposal day coming up soon. Do you guys know about this? Anybody?
Yeah, Lowe's will take them at any time.
Okay, all right. So similar to if you're collecting plastic bags, take them back to the grocery store and deposit them there. Take your light bulbs back to where you purchased them. See if they'll take them back, but do not throw them in the trash can. That is not where they belong.
Yes.
Good point.
Thank you. Let's give one more round of applause. We'll take a 5-minute break now and come back for the second session.
All good.
The preceding program was made possible in part with production assistance provided by AOC Community Media.